What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about why is Disney failing and why they actually deserve it. Well, if you're following the news, there's a lot of information to why we can even get to this conclusion. Disney have been making a lot of really not so smart decisions, and that has a lot to do with the woke culture that we live nowadays in entertainment. And what was once a beloved company that brought entertainment to family has become this weird place that is concerned more about narrative than pure enjoyment and entertainment. That's what they used to do. So today I'm going to be reading an article here about how their finances aren't doing so well. Their stocks are going down. And in my humble opinion, I would say it all started with Star Wars, because Disney, after Star Wars,
You suck!
they just kept making one bad decision after the other. It's just very weird to see that what they have done with the brand, what has been established for like 40 years, a brand that brought so many generations together. It just became this thing that people just don't care anymore. Now we have some TV shows, which some of them have great episodes, but I don't feel like Star Wars is what it was before. And I remember a time that there were so many rant videos about the direction of the movies, about what they were doing with characters, and what happened is that most of the fans were called names. The executives, the writers, the directors just said that, oh, this fandom is not really the fandom that we need. They are not the true customers, and yada yada yada, just calling people names. And then that's where we used to say, if you keep going in this direction, you are going to fail. It turns out that we were right, because Disney is not doing so well. And one proof is that even Bob Iger had to come back from retirement to try to save Disney again, because the stocks are just not doing so well. This article here is named, "Even Disney's Magical Kingdom is going through dark times," meaning that even the parks, Disney managed to do such a mess that even the parks are failing, So starting now, we're trying to get the money back that they're losing. The article is saying Disney hiked price for the second time this year. So on Thursday, Disney rose its streaming prices in response to a DTC profitable challenges and loss of subscribers. So back in August, Disney posted streaming losses for the third quarter. 512 million, with Disney Plus subscribers dropping 7.4 from the previous quarter to 146.1 million. So that's a huge, massive drop. Why do you want to watch Disney? Why do people love Disney? Because Disney is always meant entertainment that was for everybody, family friendly, magic, fantasy. And it seems like after all these years, they just lost the magic. Why? Because they're more concerned about modern politics than they are with entertainment itself. We had the disaster of the Snow White PR, a movie that didn't even come out yet, and they're already managing to having people just not interested, because first you hire someone that is to play Snow White that doesn't even like Snow White. Other than that, then you have the whole Star Wars dilemma. My channel actually started with me complaining about Star Wars, because I have been such a huge fan of Star Wars, and after The Last Jedi,
No, God!
I was so disappointed what they did with the film and the original characters, the lack of care, the lack of love. It actually felt like an essay on how they hate George Lucas and everything that he created. And then we had all these weird statements and all these people saying how Star Wars should reflect the life that we have nowadays. I mean, these people are just missing the point. taking the situations that are going on in the world nowadays, wars and rumors of wars and just depression and problems and all of that stuff. Entertainment was always a great escapism. If you had a bad day, maybe you got home and you watched your favorite superhero, and it just, for a little bit, it gave you some inspiration. It gave you a little bit of hope. I mean, obviously entertainment doesn't solve real life crises or troubles or problems that's going on. That's not what I meant, but it does give us that relief, that reset that all our brains actually need from time to time. And I said, like, at first I felt like the fans, especially on YouTube, there was a lot of anger and a lot of rant videos about movies and all the franchises being destroyed. And it got to the point that everyone just became like, you know what, I just don't care anymore. Like, they don't really want to hear anymore about Star Wars. It feels like everyone is thinking, you know what, I always have the originals or the prequels, if you love the prequels like I did. I always have the original stuff. I don't need to watch what's going on right now. And then, I mean, so Disney not only owns Star Wars, they also own Marvel, right? And what's going on with Marvel right now? It's also another disaster. They can't get anything right. And why is that? It's because they keep hiring writers and directors that are more concerned about politics than they are concerned with entertainment. So they missed their main point, right? I mean, look at She-Hulk. That was a disaster. What a terrible show. And then we had Secret Invasion. I mean, come on. I even thought some episodes were kind of interesting, and then they just did something really weird with some wonky CGI with Emilia Clarke at the very end. Apparently she's the strongest Avenger. She's an Avenger. I don't even know. I don't even care. So it got to the point that they're just destroying characters one after the other. I mean, what they did to Thor was just awesome character. And then they just make sure that they just made fun of him, just turn him into this character that we have to make sure audiences understand he is not the strongest Avenger. He's, it's a lot of this stuff that it just takes the magic away or fantasy away. And now we also are having problem if you are a Daredevil fan, Marvel was they got the rights from Netflix, a show that did really well. The Daredevil show on Netflix was a great show. They kept the same actor, and now I guess they just have to course correct again, and they fired every single person in the production, the writers, the directors, because they need to do a reset. And that's what does that mean? This also means you're losing money, because you're hiring people that are just not keeping up with the original stuff. I mean, the show was already pretty successful. And of course, maybe they couldn't just copy paste the same thing because, I don't know, they acquired the rights from Netflix. I don't know how that legal battle works. But if you're going to keep the same actor, you have to make an effort to keep all the same characters and at least to keep that same vibe, because that was the show that was successful. And I'm pretty sure what they were doing here was in direction that it was just making everything more about politics, just changing the character. People don't want to go watch a depressed superhero. Obviously, maybe if he has a scene or two that he's like that, so that's fine. But when you change your character completely, like look what they did to Hulk. Hulk is just another character was just really awesome, and they just managed to destroy the character. And it's just one after the other. It really does not surprise me that Disney is doing so badly, There's only so much that people can take. Then the article is saying, Iger has too many fires to put down. Along with streaming headwinds, Disney is also facing park business slowed down. A broken linear TV business model, and a weak box office that fails to impress. Because what also brings people to the park, like I said, is the magic, and the magic is just no longer there. They're managing to kill the excitement for every single, even the Disney originals. I mean, they're living in an era of such lack of creativity that all they have to do, look at Disney's works lately. It's all rehash and reboot, and they're not even doing a good a job at rebooting. You know, it would be great to see live actions from the awesome animations that we love, but they want to change everything because nothing that it was original works nowadays. It needs to be PC. It needs to be woke. Not even Bambi can be Bambi anymore. It's too tragic to see Bambi's mom dying. Snow White cannot have the seven dwarves anymore. She also cannot have a prince. She cannot dream about true love. All this stuff that is just makes fantasy. We're talking about fantasy here. We're not talking about reality. You know, and then the race swapping, gender swapping, changing stuff like it's just terrible. Let's see what else they're saying. Although Iger came back to save Disney, things are clearly not going according to plan. You don't say. As the world's biggest entertainment company entered what seems to be an existential crisis. You don't say. Like I said, we've been warning, but they also don't listen to the fans. It's another problem. Like they don't listen to criticism. Instead, they just use the media to call the fandoms, YouTubers, losers, these, you know, basically call names to those who are actually purchasing their content, right? Let's see what else the article says. His 2-year CEO timeline has been extended to 4 years as once as America's most beloved chief executive officer who orchestrated modern day Disney biggest business magic isn't able to Mary Poppins his way out of this mess. But then again, sequels almost always fail to live up to the originals. And the article just keep saying that Netflix is still the big king when it comes to streaming, and Disney just can't keep people interested. They can't have people going and watch their content, and the reason is that, I mean, look at the Marvel universe right now. I mean, we had a great run, and it actually died with Iron Man. I'm sorry to say, but what they start doing with all the other characters and all these shows that is just not very interesting. No more Captain America, no more Iron Man. I'm sorry, but you can't kill your original characters. I mean, you can try to reboot stuff, but I don't know. I just don't think that they did. I think this has everything to do with their politics, and that's why I think they deserve this failure, because people for once are speaking with their wallets. If they're not subscribed to Disney Plus anymore, they're not consuming their content, they're not going to movies as much to watch Disney content. I mean, they are going to fail. And now even the parks, the parks has always been such a strong point. I think the latest thing that came out from Marvel that was good was probably the Guardians movie. I mean, I really loved that movie. And I don't know what direction they're going to go now, but it seems like if they don't stop doing token characters, they're just going to keep losing it more and more and more, because people are not interested in that. Like, if you look at their comic books as well, Marvel comic books are just pure ideology. I mean, it's not fantasy anymore. And it's just really weird because, the heroics are no longer there. Why am I going to even bother reading a comic book? I just don't want to be more depressed. We have life to be depressed already. I think that's the problem with Disney. It's like I said, the reason why they are failing is exactly because they lost the magic. It was a company that used to give people escapism from life, from problems, and nowadays just became a company that just wants to preach a narrative in every single content. They say they want to honor female characters and things like that, but they can't even come up with original characters that are that good. And when they have original characters that are good, they manage to destroy them because, they're not woke enough. We need to just, I don't know, it's just really weird, and it's very it's baffling to me that all these executives are sitting there and just don't look, wait, we stopped doing the original stuff that we used to do. We don't want to be a family-oriented company anymore. We're bringing all this ideology to our companies and things like that. And I wonder what is going wrong. How can they not see it? But anyways, guys, I guess this is the end of this video. I don't want it to be too long. And I guess it is time for Disney to start again listening to fandom. I don't know if it's too late. Maybe not. Maybe they are able to start putting good content out there again. People will come back and start consuming Disney. If not, I think they're just going to continue to fall. But anyways, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy, don't forget to give that thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Bye.